I think this looks interesting. Meta building autonomous AI assistant for 3 billion users. Meta platform is building highly personalized artificial intelligence designed to autonomously carry out everyday tasks for more than 3 billion users. Okay. The project represents a major push by the social media company into so-called agentic AI, in which a system is capable of acting on behalf of the users with minimal human intervention. And guys, we just talked about RAG, the retrieval augmented generation. So this is an example of RAG where perplexity, it will be using one certain model. From here I selected for it to use the best model out there, and it's gonna pull the information from these 11 sources, or in actual like 14 sources, and it's gonna answer my question. I can ask it a follow-up question over here. So powered by Muse Spark. Muse Spark came out lately. I tried it like a week ago, or maybe more than a week, and I found it quite interesting. For a free AI, that is, it's like super cool. The assistant is being developed using Meta's new Muse Spark AI model and is currently being tested internally by a group of employees. According to people familiar with the matter cited, okay. The goal is to create products similar to OpenClaw, OpenAI owned tool that can connect to various hardware and software systems and learn from the data it produces, far less human intervention than a traditional chatbot. So the agentic AI tool will definitely be useful only when it connects to like your system, your hardware, or in this case it seems like it might connect to your mobile and the softwares that you use. So that's how it can be used. And even talking about Grok, I saw today that there was notification like it can connect to the external connectors you see. So I can see Google Drive, Gmail, Calendar, GitHub, Notion. So it can connect to these softwares and the services. So that's like a good use of the agentic AI tools, that it can go out there and do tasks for you. You can ask them to make like a Canva design, like a document. So rather than simply answering questions, the assistant is intended to handle tasks across Meta's suite of apps. One thing is that Google's infrastructure is deeply embedded in our lives. We use Google Drive, we use Gmail, and that sort of stuff. So for them to come in and put an AI layer on top of it, that will help us connect with our the apps that we are using from them, and basically put an AI layer on top of it. So that is I think more easy for them to do things at that scale. But which Meta apps are we using? One thing I know is that WhatsApp is owned by Meta. Then we have Facebook. Let us ask Perplexity about this. What Meta app suite are you referring to? Let's have it give us the answer. So I meant Meta's business focused app suite, mainly Meta's business suite, which manages Facebook, Instagram, Messenger from one place and lets business schedule posts, replies, and messages and view insights. If you meant the consumer apps, Meta's main apps is Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. But in this context, the article was referring to business tools. Now this makes more sense, guys. This makes more sense. Okay, now how do I go back to what I was reading before? So it made like a separate conversation. I had to go back, and it's not showing the conversation over here. Interesting. Let's continue reading this. So now one thing is clear, that it is like focused more on the business suite, Meta's business suite, mounting investor scrutiny over AI spending. The development comes as Meta faces intensifying questions from investors about the cost of its AI ambition. During its first quarter 2026 earning report last Wednesday, the company raised its full year capital expenditure guidance to between 125 billion and 145 billion, up from a prior range of 115 billion to 135 billion. The revision reflects higher component prices and additional data center costs to support future capacity, the company said. The midpoint of the new guidance, $135 billion, would represent nearly the double Meta's 2025 spending of $72.2 billion. Shares fell more than 6% in after-hour trading following the announcement, as even the company reported first quarter revenue growth of 33% to $56 billion. So what it means is that the revenue grew, but seeing that the company is spending double on almost double on AI, so that basically pushed the stock prices down. The AI landscape is, guys, crazy. It's super crazy. We saw a company like Allbirds that made shoe wear. They pivoted to like an AI company, and they don't have have anything to show for right now. They got an insane valuation, their stock price jumped up high. But on the other side, we are seeing that if Meta is spending more on AI, their stock price is falling down. And this is kind of insane, guys. Don't you think so? Let me know in the comments if you also think that this is insane. The AI landscape, I think it's not just giving a company that doesn't even have an AI product an insane valuation. Meanwhile, some a company that is in a good position to capture market share of AI, or basically move people into their ecosystem where they are gonna spend more for the services that they are already using. So this doesn't make sense to me. What about you guys? See, Mark Zuckerberg defending the spending on the earning call, framing AI investments as essential for future growth. I agree with that. For reinforcing Meta's core advertising business, CFO Susan Lee told analysts that Meta must invest to satisfy our infrastructure requirement and ensure we maximize our strategic flexibility in the future. And then they are also reportedly looking to raise $20 billion to $25 billion through an investment grade bond sale to help finance its AI infrastructure. I think we can ask Perplexity about this. Let me give it the access to use my microphone. So, okay, Meta AI is spending double on its AI ambitions and its stock price fell down. On the other hand side, we know about Allbirds. They don't have any AI related products yet, and they pivoted from a footwear company into an AI branding that they came up with, and their stock price jumped up high. Don't you see the contrast over here? And what could be the possible reasons behind this? Let's ask Perplexity. By the way, I have the this premium version of Perplexity, and now it's often giving me notifications to try out the computer, which is also like an agent of Perplexity. Yes, the contrast is real, but the market is reacting to different kind of stories in each case. Meta is being punished for spending a lot before investors can clearly see the payoff, while Allbirds were rewarded because the market interpreted its pivot as a radical reset with a new growth narrative and a much lower base to move from. So I think this means that Meta has a lot more to lose than Allbirds. Why Meta got hit? Meta's AI spending is huge and investors are asking simple questions. When does this turn into earnings? Morningstar noted that rising capex, uncertainty, and generative AI payoffs, okay, and memories of prior expensive bets have reopened margin and valuation concerns. In other words, the market is not rejecting AI itself, it's discounting the timing, scale, and clarity of return. Why Allbirds moved up? It was a very different case. The company had already been viewed as a struggling brand. The rebrand created a fresh narrative instead of same business, more spending. The message was effectively, we are abandoning the old model and trying something the market is obsessed with right now. As I think Perplexity gave me a kind of biased answer. Let me select the different model over here. What model did it select on its own? So it's not showing me which one it selected. But what about if we go with Claude? We are gonna see the different answers that it can give us. Let's see what it gives us with Claude Sonnet 4.6. One of our followers on the stream said, I cannot download Gemini app free. I don't know why that could be the case. I have the Google AI Pro account, so in that I have the Gemini access. And okay, coming back to the point. So here's what happened. Meta raised 2026 AI capex guidance. Okay, why Meta got punished? Meta is already a massively profitable company, so every dollar of extra spending is weighed against its existing earning machines. Allbirds has no actual AI products. The company simply announced a plan to buy and lease computing power to tech startup. That is it. But the market does not care about the substance. It cared about the narrative reset. A stock trading at $3 with 21 million market cap and zero expectation is essentially a lottery ticket. Okay. So the deeper lesson, stock market is not rewarding real AI progress. It is rewarding stories that fit the current obsession. So you see guys, this is I think a much better answer than the answer it gave me before. So this is what I wanted to actually see as well. It giving me like the real answer. So for joints like Meta, spending is a cost burden until proven otherwise. Now let me change the model. I use Claude Sonnet, and now what about this Kimi K2.6? Let's try to get an answer from this, and then let us see what the difference could be. So it is taking some time to give me the answer. Why is the Kimi model slower? And discussing about Perplexity, guys, it's basically a AI wrapper. So it's using all these models, and we have access to all of these, and it's on top of all these models, and it is like giving us a solution where it combines all of this. and we can use whichever we want. So according to Kimi, Allbirds was essentially a penny stock with zero expectation. When a $21 million company announces it's becoming AI infrastructure firm, traders do not see a business plan. They see a lottery ticket on one of the hottest theme in the market. So this is also, I think, a reasonable answer. But the answer that we saw from Claude Sonnet 4.6, that was more reasonable. What is this Nemotron 3 Super? I think this is from Nvidia. Yeah, let us ask this the same question and then let us see what answer it gives us. It better be an interesting answer, guys. The core difference lies in starting point and investor psychology. Meta is a $1.5 trillion plus profit machine where every new dollar of spending is scrutinized for immediate ROI, while Allbirds was a distressed speculative vehicle where AI pivot offered a narrative reset that speculators could chase with limited downside. So in the case of Allbirds, it was something that has limited downside and the market essentially threw out money on them. So it was more of a bet. So I think that the Nemotron 3 Super gave me a good answer, and Cloud Sonnet 4.6 also gave me a very good answer. A very reasonable answer. Anything that a normal human would see through. And let us go back to our news that we were seeing. So Meta is building autonomous AI assistants. What do you think about this, guys? Is it going to be successful? But one thing that we need to keep in mind is that this is related to the business side of things.